Krystle. I've loved dolls my whole life. I collect everything from porcelain to cloth, American Girl, neonates, and real care dolls. But my favorite is to collect and make Reborn dolls. There's Chloe, Grace, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, Savannah, Zoe, Haley, Landon, and Maisie. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it sure is a lot of fun. Hi guys, I'm here with Landon, who's still in his wintry looking sleeper. And I do love the sleeper on him. And I had put it on him for Valentine's Day. But I want to change him into pajamas that match his brother from the Canadiana brand. So here they are. Like I was telling you guys, they are black and red checkered. So there's the top and the bottoms. And I'm going to give him some red socks to go with it. So he's still going to be in red, but with a touch of black. And I'm just going to fill you guys in on what's going on with this jaw procedure. First off, as you can see, the last blood work that I got some blood work done on Thursday at the pre-op. Look at that nice bruise they left on me. I haven't had I don't know when the last time was I bruised like that from blood work. I mean, it didn't really hurt. And the lady that did it pretty fast, but at one point it felt like she was kind of like digging around. My veins are super duper hard to find. We always end up going with my left arm over my right because my right is like practically impossible. But you know, like the nurse that usually does my blood work at the lupus clinic has it down to a science almost. There's only been one time where she had to poke me 3 times, but every other time she gets it right away. It doesn't hurt and it doesn't bruise, but this time it's like major bruising. So anyways, yeah, Thursday I went to the pre-op appointment. We were there for 2 hours. We almost didn't find parking when we got there, which was crazy. It's a smaller hospital than the last hospital that I had the procedure at. And so my doctor, he works out of 2 hospitals. And so the last time I had this procedure done, we had it done in the hospital that I usually see him at, which is in Toronto. But when I had my appointment with him and we decided to go ahead and do this procedure again, in order to get me in ASAP, he asked if I would be willing to go to the other hospital that he works out of, if a slot came open there first. And I said that's fine, because when I have the procedure done, I'm going to be put under, so Alex was going to have to come with me anyway, and he's the driver, so he, you know, we can get there no problem because it's outside of Toronto. So I was like, that's fine, you can put, so he put me on the list for both hospitals basically, and the one that came up first was the one out of the city. So that's fine. I was quite pleased with how fast I was able to get an appointment this time, because the last time I had to wait months. But also there was issues. I think I mentioned this to you guys in another video that the last time I had to wait quite a few months because there kept being errors with the paperwork. When they kept thinking they had sent through the requisition for the procedure, somehow it wasn't getting into the hands of the right person to schedule it. And so that's why it took so long, because, you know, I would wait a few months thinking, okay, like I'll have to wait a little bit, I guess, to get an appointment. But then after like a few months, it was like, okay, what is going on? And I would call for an update. And that's when they realized, oh, I guess somehow the requisition didn't get through. So they had to send it again. Then I had to wait a few more months. And then they realized it didn't go through again. So then finally they got it through. So it was a big ordeal the last time. So yeah, basically this procedure, I have to be put under. So it is considered surgery because you're put under, but it's minor because I won't be cut open. There's no incisions. It's all done with needles. And basically what it is my jaw, when I was a young kid, probably like around 11, my lower jaw started receding and growing backwards, and so my chin started to like diminish and my bite was off. So my teeth were also crooked, so I have a very small mouth to begin with, so my teeth were also very crowded. And I got braces well, first they had to remove all 4 of my wisdom teeth, and also they removed 4 regular teeth just to make room in my mouth for my teeth to be straightened. And so I got braces, and then halfway through me having braces, I think it was after the first year of having braces, I also had headgear, which was wonderful. Loved that. Then the headgear was to try and correct my bite, but it didn't really work. So I went and had jaw surgery to correct my bite. Now, what they obviously did not realize at the time was that my jaw had not stopped growing, but also they didn't realize at the time that what was the cause of my bite being off was that I obviously had some rheumatoid arthritis going on in my jaw joints, and it was slowly deteriorating the joints and thus making my bite incorrect and all this stuff. Because if you don't know, rheumatoid arthritis causes deformities in joints. So it was basically causing a deformity in my jaw joints. But they didn't realize that. And so it went undetected. And so basically that surgery ended up being for nothing, because afterwards the arthritis kept progressing over the years. And this is what my current doctor discovered by doing a bunch of MRIs and x-rays and things like that, looking at my jaw structure. He said there's tons of damage done in my jaw joints. And basically, you know, after I had that surgery, there's evidence that there was arthritis there. It's not active anymore. It's done. So the damage is not progressing at this point, thankfully. It's just now managing the symptoms that the damage is causing. And so, you know, originally when I first saw him, they tried to manage well, I went to him because I was having ear pain. And I went to an ENT and he could not find anything wrong with my ears. And during an examination, he determined that he had a feeling it was connected to my jaw. And I wasn't actually having jaw pain at that time. It was just ear pain. So I went to the jaw specialist about my ear pain to see like what could be causing it. And then slowly over the months of seeing him, I started to get jaw pain. So I had the jaw pain and the ear pain, and I started getting headaches from it as well. So they originally tried to just manage the pain with Tylenol and with a soft diet. So like me eating soft foods that didn't require a lot of heavy chewing to just kind of like give my jaw a rest. And you know, it helped temporarily, but I didn't obviously want to have to stay on a soft diet forever. I wanted to be able to eat normal stuff. So as it progressed and the pain was getting worse, and you know, the soft diet, like as I did it as needed, it started to not really be as effective. Then we, you know, decided to try this procedure. So I had it done for the first time in July of 2015. I think it was like the end of July 2015. And I'll link to that video below if you guys want to check out that vlog. It wasn't, it was just mostly me recounting what happened. There was just one little video clip at the beginning from the day of at the hospital. But, anyways, so basically what they need to do is they go in with one needle on each side, and they flush the jaw joints with saline to try and get the inflammation kind of out and things like that. And it also kind of lubricates the joints. Then after they do that, they inject the joints with cortisone shots. And the cortisone is supposed to help, you know, with inflammation and the pain. It's a steroid. And so that's what they do. And obviously, even though it's just with needles, it's obviously something that can be quite painful. So that's why they put you under and things like that. So, it's great. It's lasted just a little over 2 years, and then my pain started to slowly creep back up, and it's just slowly been increasing over the last few months. So that's apparently really good. He told me that actually most people have to have it done every 9 months to a year. And with me, like he said, he was actually really pleased that it lasted over 2 years for me. So we're hoping it will have the same success rate this time for me. Like hopefully it'll last as long again. If not better, would be great. But basically it just sounds like it's something I'm going to have to probably do every few years to manage the pain that the damage in my joints has caused. But yeah, like I was saying, he found it in the X-ray, or I think it was the MRI actually, that he was able to tell that there had been arthritis in there over the years. And he's like, who knows how many years it went on for. And he goes, that's why you're not only just getting this pain from the damage, but like my bite is also back to what it was before I had the jaw surgery in like grade 9 or just after grade 9. So that surgery basically was a waste of time. It was like not worth it, which really upsets me and my mom because it cost my mom quite a bit of money. I think she had some coverage through her work, but it was considered cosmetic. So it wasn't, you know, like she had to pay some. And it was a big ordeal. I had it done during the summer between summer vacation between grade 9 and grade 10. And it pretty much like ruined my whole summer vacation because it literally took the whole summer vacation to recover. And even when I started back in grade 10, I still wasn't fully recovered from that surgery. It was a very big ordeal. I was on a liquid diet for quite a few weeks. And then what happened was when they sent me home from the surgery, I think I was in the hospital almost a week after the surgery was done. Then I went home and I was at home for about a week. And then I landed back in the hospital again because I had an allergic reaction to the antibiotic that they put me on, because they sent me home with an antibiotic to prevent infection from the incisions that were in my mouth and stuff. And I forget what it was. I think it was clindamycin, because I'm allergic to all penicillin. So they put me on clindamycin, and I broke out in a rash all over my body from that. And so I was back into the hospital for a week because they needed to monitor me with that. And on top of that, I had developed thrush in my mouth and my throat. Because after having jaw surgery, you can barely open your mouth. You have this, I don't even remember what it was, but there was some kind of like metal thing in my mouth, holding things in place. And I could barely open my mouth, and my mother and my grandmother both cared for me when I came home, because obviously my mom did have to work. So the days she was working, my grandma was helping to take care of me. They had to feed me liquids for the first few weeks through a big syringe thing. I couldn't even feed myself. And it was just, I had to wear a bib because it would like run out of my mouth because I couldn't open my mouth or close my mouth properly. It was just like awful. And then I don't remember how many weeks I was on the liquid diet, and my recovery was pushed back because of the allergic reaction. That just complicated things. So my recovery time was just awful. And so just to think that I went through all of that, you know, 2 months of recovery, maybe even longer. You know, like I was okay to start back at school in September, but I still had swelling in my face. I had some swelling still, and stuff. And so like, it was awful. And just to think I went through it all for nothing. Like it was for nothing. My bite is back to where it was. It's not correct. I have trouble biting into certain things because my bite doesn't totally close. There's a big gap, and it's just frustrating. But anyways, he said at some point, if I so choose to, I could have the surgery again to correct my bite. But it would be a bigger ordeal than the last one because of the damage that has now been done to my jaw joints. I actually, if I wanted to get the corrective surgery for my bite, I would have to also end up getting, what do they call it? Artificial jaw joints. I would basically need artificial jaw joints because my joints have deteriorated to the point that there's hardly any bone left. And so what would happen is when they would want to, because when they move your bite, then they have to put screws in your jaw joints to keep everything in place. And there basically would barely be any bone to put the screws into. Like, it's not enough. It's thin, and I forget how he explained it, but it was like, it's thin, it's deteriorated, and it would probably just crumble if they tried to put the screws in. So I would also need artificial jaw joints on top of that. So it would be an even bigger ordeal. And so I've decided, unless it becomes a really big issue, I'm not walking down that road right now. Like, I don't need a big surgery like that. For one thing, to take the time off of work for, I don't know how many months the recovery time would be. It would be like at least 2, maybe even 3 months. And just going through like the liquid diet for, I don't remember, I think it's like 3 weeks or something. Then you go on to a soft diet where it's like you eat mushy food. Like my mom would put pasta in like a food processor to like mash it up so that I could eat it. And it would just be like mushy stuff that I could eat. Baby food and crap like that. So, I want to try to avoid that. And especially like now with all my other health problems, having a major surgery like that is not something I want to go ahead with at this point. So it's just basically looking like at this point, the only thing I can do is manage it with this jaw procedure that I'm going to have on Monday, getting these cortisone injections. And it's called oh gosh, what is the actual term of the procedure? It's like arthromantesis or something like that. I can't pronounce it. Arithmetesis? I don't know. I'm probably butchering that, but it's like some big long word. I mean, like I said, it was successful the last time. I'm in like the very small percentage of people that it lasts. Like it lasted a long time. So I'm praying it will be the same this time. And even my recovery the last time was good. I had it done on a Friday, and the next night, the Saturday night, I went to the Kelly Clarkson concert because I had bought the tickets for it before I got the appointment for the surgery. And because I had waited so long for that appointment, I didn't want to cancel it and reschedule another day. And I was like, well, I'll have to just play it by ear and see how I feel. And if I feel like and I even asked my doctor, I'm like, do you think I'd be able to go to a concert the next night? And he's like, well, really, it just depends on how you feel. If you feel like you're up to it, go for it. And I was determined to not miss that concert because I didn't want to lose out. Like, the tickets weren't cheap. So I was like, no, I am not going to miss this concert. So I went, and I will tell you that on the way to the concert, like Alex drove my friend Denise and I down there, but I felt pretty like woozy and like clammy because I was still recovering from the anesthesia, and I was groggy still and whatnot. But I ended up, once I got to the concert, I woke up a little, I perked up a little bit, and I actually enjoyed the concert. Even though I practically had no voice, because the breathing tube that they put down your throat during surgery when you're out, it basically made me lose my voice. So I really couldn't, cheer or sing at the concert very much. I could barely talk to my friend, but I still had a good time. But later, once I got home, or I think it was like the next morning, my ears and my jaw were quite sore because I had pushed it. So I knew this time, like, none of that. So the procedure's on Monday. I took Monday off because I work Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I took the Monday off initially, and I thought, I should probably be okay to go to work on the Wednesday if it goes as it did the last time. And I kind of left it up in the air. I told Margaret and Annie's mom, I just said, I think if it goes like it did the last time, I should be able to come in on Wednesday, but I'll let you know like how it goes and we'll play it by ear kind of thing. Well, then looking back over at my vlog from the last procedure, I was like, I still apparently, like, I basically didn't get my voice back until 3 days after the procedure. So 2 days after the procedure, I still didn't have a voice, and I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to go to work with no voice? When you're looking after children, you have to talk. So that was my first thing, and I was like, And then I was thinking, I might still be groggy, I might still be tired. So I decided to take the Wednesday off, and it turns out the same day that I requested the Wednesday off, they were actually going to offer the Wednesday off to me anyways. They were going to ask me if I wanted to, just because they figured, like, it's surgery, and they were like, are you sure you want to come back on the Wednesday? So I took the Wednesday off. So I'm currently off until, well, I have up until Thursday off. I'll have to see how I'm feeling, whether or not I want to go in on the Friday. I haven't taken it off as of yet because that is, I would say, quite a good chunk of time to probably recover. I should be okay if all goes well. But I've just let her know that I will give her more than like a day's notice. Like I'll just kind of gauge it, probably how I'm feeling on the Wednesday, and let her know if I'm going to come on the Friday or not. And she's fine with that. So, but hopefully I can, because I won't get paid for, like, I don't have paid sick days or anything. So it's either use vacation time or make up the days later, which, I mean, I can make up the days, but working 4-day weeks are really like, ugh, they're quite brutal. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I want to do yet, but I'll figure it out and see what I'm going to do. But anyway, so that's what's going on with that. And the pre-op went well. All it was, I mean, we were there for 2 hours, but basically all it was is I met with a pharmacist to go over all of my medications, the doses, when I take them, and went over, I saw a nurse who, you know, took my blood pressure, checked my heart rate and all that kind of stuff. Went over some general things with me. Then I saw who else did I see? Oh, and the nurse took blood work from me, and they were able to get the blood work back like so fast. I actually got the results while I was there. By the time I saw the anesthesiologist, he had my blood work results, which was crazy to me. So yeah, he had the blood work results. He said everything was fine. There was one blood test they missed though, and thankfully they still had my blood in the lab, so he was able to just put it through the request for that test. And he went over all the instructions with me, like not eat or drink anything after midnight the night before, and just went over my medications again, and basically told me which medications I should still take that morning and which ones I should skip that morning. He also told me, because I have mild asthma and I have I have Ventolin that I can take for that as needed, which I rarely have to take. But he told me to take it as a preventative that morning before the surgery. Just to make sure that my airways are really, you know, open. And I think that was it. I feel like I saw one other doctor or one other thing in there, but I can't remember now. But it went okay. It was fine. And I made sure to tell the anesthesiologist that the last time when I got home, the day of the surgery, when I got home, I threw up, and when I threw up it caused a nosebleed, and I said I did not want that to happen again. So he definitely put down in the notes to make sure to give me anti-nausea medication before sending me home this time and make sure I'm good to go. So hopefully that won't happen this time. And also the last time I was super nervous because they told me that because of the structure of my bite and how small my mouth is and things like that, they wouldn't be able to intubate me through the mouth and throat. They would have to go through the nose. And they said the last time I had to be awake for that part, because they said they don't want to take the risk of putting you under and then not being able to get the breathing tube in. So I had to be awake, and that freaked me out, and I was so nervous about it the last time, and it ended up not being as bad as I thought it would be, but I still did not, it was still not the best experience. And so I talked to him about that again this time, and I said, well, hopefully since they were successful getting it in last time, like, do you think I'd be able to be asleep for that part of the procedure? And he's like, well, I'm not sure, but I'll make notes about it and we'll discuss it before the surgery. So we'll see what happens with that. because when they did it when I was awake, they numbed the inside of my nose with something on a Q-tip, but it felt really weird. It wasn't painful when they put the numbing stuff in. It was just uncomfortable. It was like a weird pressure feeling in my nose, which I did not like. It made me queasy. And then once everything was like really numb, they started to put the tube in, and it was just a weird pressure feeling. And then eventually it did start to become painful, quite painful, and they kept trying to like sedate me to see if that would help, but it was getting to the point it was getting very uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden they were like, okay, because then I was really starting to get like upset, because it was really, the more they tried to get it further in, the more it was hurting. So once it got to the point where like they could tell I was really, really like in pain, they said, okay, I think we can get it the rest of the way, no problem. And then that was the last thing I remember. They put me out. So I was out before they finished fully putting it in. So I'm hoping because of that they were able to like complete it while I was asleep, that hopefully they can do the entire process while I'm asleep this time, because I really didn't like that. But you know, like you're always a little bit nervous before being put under, because you just never know like what can happen. But since I've already been through this procedure, I feel a little less nervous than I did the last time, just because I generally know what to expect. I mean, obviously it can go different every time. You never know. But I'm just thinking about how it went the last time and hoping it goes the same way. So I mean, I'm nervous, but not as nervous. But anyways, I rambled long enough, but that's the update on that. And so that is it. And I'm gonna hopefully, I don't know, maybe I'll try to film some more videos tomorrow on Sunday so that I can have some videos up while I'm recovering. And then, like I said, I am gonna try to vlog whatever I can during the process and then get that up when I'm feeling up to it. But anyways, I'm gonna sign off on this video. Here's Landon. He's looking adorable in this boppy lounger, and these pajamas are adorable on him. And actually, before I sign off, I'm gonna put him next to Joshua on the couch and get a quick shot of them together. So there is Landon and Joshua together. I think they look really cute in these jammies. Very Canadian, my little Canucks here. And over here is Riley. He's sound asleep. Hanging out with the boys. Alright guys, well, thanks for listening to me ramble. Definitely keep me in your prayers while I have this procedure on Monday. I really hope that they can do the whole breathing tube thing while I'm asleep this time. That would make it a much more pleasant experience, and hopefully I don't have to worry about throwing up this time. But I'll probably, once I get home on Monday, I'll probably spend most of Monday sleeping, and I'll probably spend most of Tuesday sleeping too, because I know the last time I had it, the next day I pretty much slept the whole day until I had to go to the Kelly Clarkson concert. So I will probably be sleeping for like 2 whole days, which is why I want to try and get some pre-filmed videos for you guys. And yeah, so anyways, wish me luck, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!